video because I just finished watching this TED Talk on YouTube. Well, I've been watching it numerous times now, but I just finished watching it again recently, and it's called My Black Year by Maggie Anderson. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because she mentions a lot of different things that are very relevant to us in the video. But one thing that she definitely mentions is she tells us that in America, in the Asian community, a dollar circulates amongst the community's banks, retailers, business professionals for up to 28 days before it is spent with outsiders. Whereas in the Black community, the dollar lives 6 hours within our community before it is spent with outside retailers. Here's what that means. That means that Asian communities and other communities are spending their money within their own community because their communities have the banks, they have the retailers, they have the business professionals, they have the all sorts of things that these businesses need. Think about it. A business needs multiple different aspects for it to thrive, right? If you want to build a business, maybe you need a business planner, maybe you need a business manager, maybe you need a contractor, maybe you need models, maybe you need a studio, maybe you need an agency, right? They have these in their communities, owned by people who look like them. We don't have these in our communities. And there's so many reasons why we don't have these in our communities. You could look up the race riots, you could look up Black Wall Street, you could look up what they did when we did have these things, what they did to us, how they burned it down, how they looted it, how they destroyed it because they didn't want us to have economic prosperity. They didn't want us to have that. And this stems back to ancient African history. Why did they take us from Africa? Why did they bring slaves here? Because they didn't want us to continue on the economic prosperous route we were going, right? When we were brought here to America, our ancestors fought for our ancestors here in America fought for our freedom, right? They fought for political freedom. They wanted political rights. As when we had economic rights here, we had Black Wall Street, we had Black owned businesses, we had Black owned banks, we had so many Black owned things, and they were jealous. They didn't like it. How could this collateral damage, right, that we just gave their freedom to, how could they possibly be thriving? How could they possibly be doing better than us? How could they be living better than us? And so they went ahead and they tried to destroy that. Now I think back into our modern day times, and I was just getting ready here and I thought about this. These businesses, right? These big Black products that we use on our hair, these products that we use, like for instance, I was just looking into Shea Moisture and I found out that Shea Moisture sold to Unilever. Unilever is a largely Dutch British company, right? So Shea Moisture sold to Unilever with a lot of different there's a lot of different things that went into that. I wouldn't say that they sold out, not necessarily that, but essentially they gave their products to be owned by a bigger corporation, right? These products are in communities of color. These products are all over our communities. These are the products that we use. These are the products that we believe we're putting back into our communities, but we're not. We are not putting that money back into our communities because those very same large companies, they hire contractors from their communities. They hire business managers from their communities. They put money back into their communities, right? 28 days, they put money back into their communities, not ours, because we don't have the businesses. We don't have that here in our communities. A lot of people say, well, what can we do? Our great minds have been telling us this. Marcus Garvey has told us this, right? The greatest leaders, I actually watched an interview, Bill Cosby has been telling us this. We need to start by taking back what we do at home, taking back how we teach our children, what we teach our children, getting involved into what they're doing, listening to them, getting to hear what they have to say, learning with them, watching videos to teach them, and then having discussions with them. We need to do more than just buying them $500 sneakers from these retailers, from these businesses, these owners that take the money and don't put it back into our communities. We need to think about that, and also think about what they're doing, right? These very same big businesses are taking our image. They take what we look like. They take our style. They take what we like to hear, our music. They take our what we like to be seen as. They take our image, what we look like, right? Our wide hips, our big breasts, our full lips. They take all these things and they market it back to us. And then we buy it and put that money back into their pockets, right? This phase of creating your body to look like in a certain image, right? Who does that come from? That comes from these celebrities that are on TV injecting themselves with all sorts of things to try to look more like the black image, right? To try to look as much as the black image as they can, getting into our music, getting into our clothing to try to look more like the black image. Why? Because the black dollar is the most spent dollar. Then we use this black dollar and say, oh my goodness, that's cool. I want to buy that. You're buying your style. You're buying, right? You're buying your image because it was put on them. And it's what we think that we want to look like. Ah, man, we got to do better. Wake up, man. We got to do better.